Just before Christmas, a friend of mine said that I could never make a video about his local station, Aldershot, because, he reckoned, there's nothing to say about it. Well, challenge accepted. On my way back I took some footage, and once I'd got all the shots I needed, I started considering the subject. Then I forgot about it for 4 months, and here we are. Aldershot is a station in Hampshire on the Alton line. This line was built by the London and Southeastern Railway, which had been founded with the aim of connecting London with the south coast ports. Aldershot had no station at the time. In the first half of the 19th century it had a population of less than 1,000 and didn't seem worth serving. The nearest station was Tongham. All that would change very quickly. In 1854 the army established a base at Aldershot. This was an era when the British Empire was at its height, and maintaining a top-class fighting force was essential to that. Therefore, a new, large-scale training facility was needed. Aldershot was considered ideal for the purpose. The land wasn't much use for farming, and therefore it was cheap. It wasn't far from London, but it also wasn't far from the south coast. And it was fairly flat, which was a bonus. Suddenly, Aldershot was no longer the sort of place that railway builders sneered at. In less than a decade, the town grew to nearly 8,000 people, and that was just civilians. When you factored in military personnel, it was more like 17,000. Now it was an important settlement 2 miles from the nearest station. The locals petitioned for a branch line, but despite everything, the LSWR was seemingly uninterested. "Well," said the people of Aldershot, "if you want a thing done, you've got to do it yourself." So they planned a railway of their own, known as the Farnham, Aldershot and Woking Junction Railway, and presented a bill to Parliament. And that got the LSWR to take notice. While they might not have been too bothered about building a branch while they were the only game in town, they certainly weren't going to let anyone else get that sweet, sweet fare money. What particularly bothered them was the fact that this new proposed line would connect with the Southeastern Railway, who were one of the LSWR's rivals. The Southeastern would therefore likely end up running the independent railway. In the long term they might even take it over, and that would give them a fully controlled line on what the LSWR viewed as their turf. So the LSWR struck a deal with the Farnham, Aldershot and Wokingham Junction's promoters. Withdraw the bill and the LSWR would build the branch they wanted, as well as covering all the costs incurred so far. The new branch would be known as the Farnham, Aldershot and Purbright Junction branch. On the 2nd of May 1870 the line opened. So too did the station at Aldershot, at last. In those days it was known as Aldershot Town and Camp, and trains ran all the way to Waterloo. As in the station in central London, not the Battle of. In 1879 the Southeastern actually got a connection to the line at Ash, and they ran into a bay platform at Aldershot, which as you can see is still there. It was even occasionally possible to get a train to Charing Cross or Cannon Street from here. Naturally the station was heavily used from the start, with plenty of military traffic. The station grew with additional platforms and sidings. Soon a number of sidings and spurs would be added to serve the various needs of the army base directly. The base itself had its own passenger platforms used for troop trains and visitors. These trains would be a not insignificant source of income for the LSWR. There were also sidings serving other local industries, such as the power station and the gasworks. Well, if you know your history, it will come as no surprise that the 20th century brought increased military traffic. You know, what with the 2 world wars and all. The goods facilities at Aldershot were expanded accordingly, and the line became a vital link in wartime. In 1923 the Southeastern Railway and the London and Southwestern both became part of the Southern Railway. One of the new company's priorities was electrifying their lines, and Aldershot was put on the juice in 1937. But as the roads improved and the army became more reliant on road transport, so the importance of the railway connection dwindled. In 1975 the goods facilities at Aldershot were closed, and in 1985 the passenger platforms at the base were demolished. The troop trains had long since ceased to run. Not that the loss of military traffic meant the loss of the station. These days Aldershot is a major commuter town as well as a commercial centre in its own right. The station sees regular and pretty frequent services to Waterloo. But, more importantly, it is possible to make a video about it. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If so, please do leave a like and consider subscribing for more. I would like as ever to thank my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon and here on YouTube for your support. You are the military traffic to my unimportant village. And I'll see you all again very soon. Cheerio.